Welcome back to Monster Musume Anime Review Part 3. This one discussing the last 4 episodes of the anime, and these episodes are a loosely connected story arc. Episode starts off with Keiji on sort of a date with the beautiful Miss Smith. Yeah, she's smoking hot. I'm like, dude, yeah, you live with a bunch of monster girls, fine. But the person who you're working with is also hot too, and she may have had a thing for you. And you're completely oblivious to it because you're probably in love with the snake woman. Yep, so there's a date, and the girls follow him around. All of them do. Despite the fact legally they can't exactly go out without their host. But the host is nearby, so they're not going to be in trouble. And eventually, then the girls get caught. Because, well, you have Mrs. Team basically knowing about it, so it's revealed that there is a person threatening him to end his life. And by the way, there's actually 2 layers to this. So, in order to cover, he goes on a date with all the girls. First, it's Mia and Mio. Miro, they go to the aquarium, and he spends a lot of time with Mia, though she briefly leaves. He gets captured, sort of like taken in by this dragon, supposedly a guy, but I can easily tell this is a freaking woman. How? The voice. Yes. How in the world can you explain that supposedly someone who looks like a guy clearly is a woman? Yep. Oh yeah, and this woman really wants Mia as a bride, despite the fact she's a woman. Yeah. I mean, what is she, a lesbian? They don't really say it at all. The woman only appears just in episode 9, and then she briefly shows up in episode 12. No joke about that. She just shows up there. So, they apparently takes me on a boat. Like, apparently she wants to take her, so she appears to undress her by opening up her shirt and basically showing off her chest to the air. Lucky enough that Keiji shows up and rams a boat into her, though this thing ever gets wet. And then they reveal this is a woman by him taking off her shirt. Yep. And, well, there's more dates to have. Oh, but by the way, their bodyguard is the ogre. Yep, the ogre. Kichi, I think her name is. Then, of course, we have him hanging out with Sue and Poppy. With Zombarina, who's eating their food. And then they're attacked by a giant tree monster who turns out to be an old friend of Poppy's, named Ki, because, well, her name is similar to that. And so they briefly have a kaiju battle because they have Sue absorb some nuclear waste. And turns out the reason why she's like this, the Ki is like this, because of all nuclear waste in the area. So they stop her and they think she's going to be deported, but Miss Smith's like, nope. She's perfectly fine right here. She's not going to harm anybody. As long as she doesn't harm anybody, she's perfectly fine here. And she signs off on it. Don't worry, she doesn't briefly. She actually returns for the final episode of the series. This is episode 10, mind you. And then we have, and this I thought was quite hilarious when they had this one. Okay, so he goes with Centuria next, and Rinchin basically goes along with them because just cuz. Yep. So they have their date where she can't exactly fit into a store because, well, she's a centaur. So they have a picnic, and it turns out she can't really cook very well. She ended up making sandwiches, and according to Regina, yeah, he's like paper bags. And then, of course, she gets spooked off. She basically just walks off, and of course, she's kind of mad. He wants to go, Keiji wants to apologize to her. By the way, I should point out, though, you don't really see a lot of time his actual eyes. I guess he always has a spook look on his face every time. You very rarely see his actual actual eyes. He's like that a lot of the time. It's very rare you see that because he's always like, oh no. And then, of course, later shown there's this little devil girl who's being, well, he also had the Cyclops girl surveilling him. So this little devil girl spooks the Cyclops, who, by the way, is voiced by Jed Saxton. A really good voice actress, by the way. Never met her, in case you're wondering. I never met any of the voice actors working on this show. Some I have in other shows, but this one, no, I never met them. So they go to what? Then she goes away. Then she supposedly comes back hypnotized, where she proceeds to take off her top and have Keiji grope her and not get punished for it. Yeah, and then of course the little was like trying to trick her, And then a wild boar shows up, tries to run over, and of course Kiji sees her but doesn't confront her at all. Saves her from the bull, and of course that he's saved. And then of course the bull is taken out by Santorina. As for the little devil girl, well, Renchina, who was actually there, takes her hostage. Miss Smith knows nothing about this at all. So what did she do with the girl? Apparently, Renchina took off this little devil's coat, and she took off her top. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, are these two guys had sex? No, not that at all. She also apparently looked like she was about to take off her shorts as well, but nope, she basically put her in bondage. Because Renchina basically has a thing for bondage. Has her reveal her dirty secrets, but did she really have to take off her top to do this? Okay. The very next episode is actually Miss Swift's team's turn to take them out on a date. First, it's the ogre. Yep. She, of course, the thing doesn't go very well. And then it's Zambarina's turn. Yep. By the way, the Doppy's not there because he found this boring. Basically, just a Cyclops, the ogre, and Zambarina. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Zambarina basically, apparently, her hand gets knocked off because her stitches fall, so he sews it back on. And apparently he has no problem with her being a zombie, or people might be grossly. He has no problem because he basically saw monster girls anyways. Then she proceeds to remove her own breast, and you're probably thinking, wait, that sounds very gross. Well, she's a zombie. Of course she can do this. And then he proceeds to sew it back on, and everyone thinks that she probably gave her, let's just say, he groped her, but nope, just basically sew her breast back on. And then it's the ogre's turn, which apparently, because she's not ogre, the Cyclops. Yeah. Her name is, I think his name is Tatina, I think her name. Let me look her up here. Yeah, I know that Zombrina is a zombie character. Let's find it here. Her name is Tashani. She's voiced by Christina Slump. Jet Saxon voices Menko, the Cyclops. Tristan is the ogre. And Zombrina is voiced by Kira Vincent Davis. Emily Knives, those of you familiar with this actress, she is recently known for being the voice actress for Ellie from My Hero Academia Season 4. Yep, same voice actress. So, her date has been put her basically in a regular dress attire. I mean, she's one of the more human-looking ones of all, though, despite her Cyclops. She's very much a Cyclops. Though apparently she's only got one eye, so she can't exactly close one eye like this due to her sniper shots. She has to keep her one eye open the whole time. And apparently she doesn't like people looking at her eye very much, so he's like, I don't have a problem with your eye. Of course, he said, it looks like they're about to kiss, but nope, they're not. And then it turns out that they're being stalked. Of course, he's basically blackmailed dating these girls because of a note that was sent to them. Which turns out the first one was sent by Doppy. Second one, no. Second one was not sent by Doppy at all. Yeah, the one sent by Doppy, the other one wasn't. So, eventually, we feel that Doppy's been stalking him the whole time. Thanks to, of course, everyone finding out about it. Yeah, and then, of course, reveal what actually is the person behind it. So, he goes home and he runs to a woman without a head. Yep. This is Lala. A psychopomp. Yeah, this demonic person. Yeah, they find her head later, though she basically is uncomfortable while he's holding her head because Richard is basically using her body for bondage. And then, of course, after she gets her head back, feels, oh yeah, she really wants to kill him. And, of course, the girls basically get him away. Though we briefly see the dragon girl again. She really wants to beat up Kiji for having her bride, per se. But look how she's basically knocked off by one of the other girls. And then, of course, Miss Smith shows up. Feels, oh yeah, even though that she was the one who wrote the other letter, yeah, she's not really going to kill you at all. Just basically, it's her thing. Though she runs, apparently she's a runaway. And she does it on purpose, like Poppy, who's a bird brain. Yep, and then of course they decide they have to keep her stay. Okay. And then they have basically with the characters where they have to go out shopping for the next day after she moves in. So, oh yeah, by the way, this plot thread is actually resolved in episode 11. Yeah, a 3-episode plot thread. Oh yeah, in case you're curious though, this particular set of episodes cover chapters 18 to 25 of the manga. Yeah, 8 chapters in just 4 episodes. Yeah, and of course they have a day where the girls basically with the all of them except for like two, and they go shopping. Yep, and then of course everybody eats all the food that he just got to them. Yeah, and then he finds out though, oh yeah, Machi can actually reimburse him for all the stuff he purchased for them. He's like, really? And then he starts drowns up in Sue, and that's how the series ends. Well, basically, episode. There's still a couple OVAs, which those have been done. We'll watch those soon. But yeah, great set of episodes. Can't wait to discuss the OVAs, which is only 2 of them. And I'm hoping tonight to discuss the 3 new series. First being Shaggy Wants to Hang Out, then Fire Force, then Is It Wrong to Have Girls in a Dungeon? Yep, those discuss soon. And in case you're curious though about Case Closed, as far as I can tell for tomorrow, I don't think there is no episode coming out tomorrow. I don't think so, no. So, yeah, so until the next video, which will hopefully be the last video for Monster Musume, and then more about those other 3, okay? See you next video. Bye.